Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it. Warlock Rebirth is debuting from Marvel in April. It's going to be a 5-issue series written by Ron Marz and illustrated by Ron Lim. Now, of course, this is coming out because we're right about to have the release of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which does feature Adam Warlock finally. I know there are a lot of Warlock fans out there. There's a lot of Cosmic Marvel fans, and there's a lot of fans of Ron Marz and Ron Lim when they're together on a Cosmic Marvel book. They had a really great run together on Silver Surfer back in the 90s. They recently reunited for Silver Surfer Rebirth, which I thought was actually really cool. I had a chance to meet Ron Marz in 2022 at the Memphis Comic Expo, and he told me that him and Ron were working on another Cosmic Marvel project together that he couldn't really quite get into yet, but it was in some way going to be tied into the release of Guardians 3, and that, of course, is going to be Warlock Rebirth. Like I said, loved their work on Silver Surfer back in the 90s. I loved their work together on Silver Surfer Rebirth, so I'm very excited for this one. Then we got Guardians of the Galaxy, Bane of Blastar. It's a one-shot. It's going to be written by Ralph, not the Karate Kid Macchio, and illustrated by David Tinto. Sure. Sorry. Anyway, this is one of those one-shots that they always let Ralph Macchio do whenever there's a movie release. Usually he does this one-shot comic. Maybe Todd Knox going to be involved. Maybe Ibrahim Mustafa is going to be involved. Todd Knox actually doing the cover for this one. So they're not usually that great, but what they are is they serve as a really cool one-shot, self-contained story that anybody, if they're interested in the movie, can walk into a comic shop, pick it up off the shelf, and enjoy an old-school Guardians-type story. And I really like the emphasis on Blastar, which makes me really kind of hopeful that Blastar makes an appearance in the film, but I don't think that's going to be necessarily the case because the Doctor Strange one-shot that Ralph Macchio did, not the Karate Kid, what he did for the Doctor Strange book had Nightmare in it. We didn't have Nightmare in there, though we thought it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. These one-shots are just okay. They're just, what kind of deal does Ralph Macchio have with Marvel? Like, does he have to do at least 1 or 2 books a year or something? It's interesting. Alien is being rebooted again from Marvel for a third frickin' time. Okay. Whatever. So there's a new Alien series. It's written by Declan Shalvey, which I think that's cool. I love Declan Shalvey as an artist, and he's also a really great writer. Check out Savage Town if you haven't ever checked that out. Crime fiction graphic novel from Image, written by Declan. Absolutely fantastic. He's doing a great job on Old Dog as well. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. It's going to be illustrated by Andrea Brocardo, but y'all, you don't have to reboot every single time there's a new creative team. Let the book pick up some momentum. Let the book maintain its fan base instead of just every time they do a reboot, it encourages people to be like, you know what, I'm buying too many comics. Might as well stop buying Alien if they're going to end it and reboot it again. It's a psychological thing. It happens. Loki has a new 4-issue series debuting in June, and I'm rather excited about this because it's probably going to be tied into the release of Loki Season 2, but it is written by Dan Waters, and it's got artwork by Herman Peralta. I love Peralta's artwork. You can see some of his artwork recently in the Maestro series that have been done with Peter David. Love his artwork. Realistic, distinct, but still very classic kind of vibing and feeling. And Dan Waters. Dan Waters is one of my absolute favorite writers. This might be Dan's first Marvel work. I'm thinking, surely there's got to be something else. However, really excited to see what Dan Waters is going to do with a Loki 4-issue series. That's in June. In May, we got a new Spider-Man 2099 series. It's going to be called Dark Genesis, 5 issues. It's going to be released weekly throughout May. It's written by Steve Orlando, who just did the Spider-Man 2099 Exodus little mini event there, and it's going to have illustration by Justin Mason. I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of Spider-Man 2099 Exodus, but this Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis promises us the debut of Carnage 2099, and that seems really cool to me, so I will definitely check that out. Then we got Ghost Rider Wolverine, Weapons of Vengeance. Event. It's an event. It's one of those little events where it's going to have an alpha, it's going to have an omega, and in between, it's going to cross over between Wolverine and Ghost Rider. So at least, kind of like with this Captain America Cold War, I at least like the idea that it's staying more contained to those books. So if you read these books, that's what you're going to want to do. And of course, since it's involving Wolverine and Ghost Rider, it is written by Benjamin Percy. It's got illustrations by Jeff Shaw, at least for the Alpha one-shot. I dropped out of Wolverine when I just blanket quit all of the X-Men books, and I get that comment sometimes. Why is Robbie not covering the X-Men books? Luckily, I have people in the chats or in the comments that will be like, oh man, he got burnt out on them, right? And that's what happened. That being said, I'm loving Exterminators. How's Wolverine been? Is it worth diving back into? Ghost Rider's another one that I kind of dipped out of. People told me it was good. Then some people that told me it was good now tell me that it's not good, and now I'm confused. But I definitely want to check this out. Should I just check it out cold, like most people will if they're just picking up the Alpha one shot? Should I get caught up? Hey, is Ghost Rider and Wolverine good right now? And has anybody tried them cookie M&Ms? I'm still wondering about that. Then we've got World Tree. This is, we've already talked about this before, but it's in April from Image. It's written by James Tynion IV with artwork by Fernando Blanco. This is the story where a group of people discover the Undernet, which is the secret dark underbelly of the internet. Not like the dark web, but it's like, think of like, the vibe I'm getting is kind of like, think of what you would imagine, like the material plane and the astral plane and how that relates to each other. Right? I guess the Undernet, I get the vibe like it's like that. Not like the dark net or the dark web or anything like that, but like the underbelly, the skeleton, the astral form of it. So I don't know. It's a horror comic. Blanco on the artwork, Tynion writing it. I mean, that sounds like that could be pretty cool. I just heard my cat meow. I wonder if she sounded so sad. She's like, wrap up the video, Daddy. Anyway, Deep Cuts is a 6-issue series debuting from Image in April. Written by Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark with artwork by Danilo Beyruth. This is going to be a story inspired by jazz. It takes place in New Orleans in the 19-teens, and it seems like it's going to be pretty cool. It doesn't necessarily give me the horror vibe or anything like that, kind of like Blue and Green did, but it kind of has that vibe, but maybe a little bit more dramatic or something, but that seems cool. Then we got Terror War is releasing in April from Image. Saladin Ahmed and Dave Acosta. Now, Ahmed did some really solid work on Miles Morales and on Miss Marvel, and I loved his first Abbott series, so I'm excited to see him dive back into creator-owned work, and really excited to see Dave Acosta on the artwork, because Dave Acosta does, like, work with Elvira for Dynamite, does some covers. I think he's done some interiors, did the Death of Elvira book. I love his style. He can do camp, he can do horror, he can do comedy, he can do drama. So I'm excited to see what this book is going to be about. And it's about these fears that, or it's about an enemy that these people are fighting who take on the form of the fears of the person that they're going against. So that seems like some interesting things to play with there. Junk Rabbit's a new series from Image in April, written and illustrated by Jimmy Robinson. Not familiar with his work, but I love the look of this costume. It's in a post-climate crisis collapse type world, and it's changed everything, and it's changed not just the world, but the heroes that arise out of it. So we got Junk Rabbit. Looks really cool, so I'm excited to see what the art's going to be on this. I need to look up this Jimmy Robinson guy, because I love that cover. Seasons Have Teeth, 4-issue series in April from Boom Studios. Super excited for this. This is probably the thing I'm the most excited for on today's wrap-up, because it's written by Dan Waters. It's artwork by Sebastian Gabral. Not familiar with his work. Looked it up. Looks cool, but let me tell you something. Dan Waters, an amazing writer, a literary writer, such a great mind. We had him on the channel. I would encourage anybody to check out that conversation we had with Dan Waters. And I wish you could have the conversation that took place after we went off the air. We're off the air. Dan is a brilliant mind. Dan is a brilliant mind. The way he thinks about story, the way he thinks about characters, exciting. So this book, Seasons Have Teeth, is about a world in which every time the season changes, a new god, a new archetype representing that season comes to just demolish, right? And so humankind has to come up against this. So every time the seasons change, it's like a deadly, devastating event. I am so excited. I'm just so excited. Dan Waters is a dream to me. I really think he's super cool. Hairball is a new one from Dark Horse. 4 issues in April. Starts. Matt Kent, Tyler Jenkins. They've worked together on books before, like Grass Kings. There's another one that escapes my mind right now, but I really like it when they were Apache Delivery Service. That's it. Really like it when they work together. Hairball. Don't really get... I don't remember the solicitation. I didn't read the solicitation because I didn't need to. Because it's Matt Kent, it's Tyler Jenkins, it's called Hairball, and the cover is a cat. So I'm totally reading that book. So I don't know if that's enough to sell you, but it sold me. Disney Villains Scar is a new one-shot from Dynamite comic in April. I'm very excited for this one. Written by Chuck Brown with artwork by Trevor Frawley. So not just Gargoyles has Dynamite gotten the license rights for comic book publication from Disney. Not just Darkwing Duck, which Darkwing Duck #1 and Gargoyles #2 all hit on the same day. Advanced reviews coming here on the channel. Probably expect those Monday morning. So I'm really excited to talk to you all about Darkwing Duck #1 because it's freaking awesome. And Gargoyles #2, anybody that had a problem with Gargoyles #1, I think you're really going to like issue #2. That being said, what were we talking about? Disney Villain Scar. It's going to be a one-shot comic book about Scar from The Lion King. I love Disney movies. Sure. I love Disney animated films, especially the classic stuff. I think their villains are some of the best. Maleficent is awesome. Jafar is awesome. Ursula is awesome. I love all of these villains. My favorite might be Scar. Well, it might be Jafar. I don't know. Jafar's kind of a little... He's a little, Anyway, Scar is awesome. Jeremy Irons. Love that movie, The Lion King. The original animated one. Not the... not the live-action remake thing that's so misguided. Anyway, Scar, a one-shot comic book. Chuck Brown, who is the co-writer, co-creator of Bitterroot. So very excited to see what they do there. I'm super pumped for that. Like... Y'all know I do work with Dynamite, and I cover Dynamite books, especially the ones I like. I'm going to tell y'all this. I am so excited for what Nick Barucci and Dynamite Entertainment is doing right now with these Disney licenses. I think this is going to help them expand even further and change some of the connotation that I think a lot of the community has about them. So I think this is some really solid stuff from Dynamite. I'm really excited to check out that Scar book. Rocketeer is going to have a new one-shot anthology in April from IDW. It's going to have a story that was written back in the 90s by the writers and the directors of the Rocketeer movie. It's got stories written by, I think Scott Dunabeer is doing one. But the big focus is that Adam Hughes is doing one of the stories, and Jay Lee is doing one of the stories, and I'm like, Rocketeer's already amazing, and it has this tradition of attracting really top-notch artists because of how much we all respect Dave Stevens, and I wouldn't say I'm necessarily the hugest Rocketeer nut, but I do love Dave Stevens, I do like the Rocketeer, I like the movie, I like the comic, but I'm really excited to see Jay Lee and Adam Hughes do some Rocketeer work. That's going to be cool. Ancient Enemies, The Wraith and Son is a one-shot comic book coming from Frank Miller Presents Comics. Dan DiDio, Jose Luis. This is spinning out of Ancient Enemies. We've only gotten one oversized issue of that so far. Didn't really sell me, so I'm not super excited for this. When I first saw a new announcement from Frank Miller Presents, I got really excited because Ronin Book 2 I loved, but the other ones haven't quite hit me yet, but we'll see what happens as it develops. I saw that Scream 6 trailer. Y'all know me. You know I'm a horror fan. You know that I'm a huge fan of Scream. Love Scream 1, 2, and 4. Don't really like 3. Didn't like 5. Liked 5 a little bit more on the rewatch because we covered the entire Scream franchise for Horror Fest last year. We kicked it off that way. This Scream 6 trailer, first of all, as a trailer, sucks. It's not a good trailer. I don't think it's a good trailer. It's showing us too much of the movie. It's a little uneven. It's just showing us these long segments of the film that are like, I don't know. As a trailer, I think the trailer kind of sucks. As promotion to get me hype for the movie, especially someone that didn't like Scream 5 as much as other people, I'm excited. Ghostface, this new iteration or iterations of Ghostface, different using guns. Very shocking moment in the trailer where Ghostface uses a gun, and then this Ghostface has like a Ghostface cave. It's like a bat cave for Ghostface, and I'm still being hesitant. Still wait and see. But Scream 6, that trailer sucked as trailer. Like that's how you cut together a trailer. That being said, rather excited to check that out. Cobra Kai Season 6 got announced It is the final season of Cobra Kai. I knew it was coming. We were all thinking that season 5 might have been the finale, and it could have been the finale. It could have ended right there, but it's not. They're doing a season 6. It's the end. It's the last one. You gotta wrap it up. Wrap it up now. Wrap it while the series is strong. Wrap it while we're all still interested. Cobra Kai, not technically the greatest television show of the last 10 years, but definitely one of my favorites. I'm going to be sad to see it go. Megan is getting a sequel. It's done very, very well. I still haven't seen Megan. Have you seen it? What do you think? In the chat below, let me know. I'm waiting for streaming right now, but I do want to check it out. I don't know if it's going to be for me, but I'm going to give it an open viewing, an open watch with an... I'm going to give it a viewing and a watch with an open mind. That's what I meant to say there. But Megan's getting a sequel. It's been greenlit pretty much. Tron 3 is happening. Randomly, Jared Leto's going to be in it. I know that John Hammertime Holshoe is super excited because Tron's like one of his favorite movies of all time. We covered it way back in the early days of PCP. I'm not the hugest Tron fan, and I didn't really like Tron Legacy. I think both movies are visually stunning. Both movies have great soundtracks. The Tron Legacy soundtrack is Daft Punk. It's awesome. But the movies never really appealed to me. They never really gripped me, so I can't say I'm necessarily excited for this news, but I am very excited for my friends that I know. I'm excited for Hammer Time. Hammer Time's got to be or maybe he's not. Maybe he's pissed. I don't know. I'm going to be curious to see what he thinks about it. And Rian Johnson has announced that his next movie that he is filming is, in fact, the third Knives Out movie. I just recently watched Knives Out a couple weeks ago for the first time. Loved it. And then I watched Glass Onion right afterwards. Loved it, so I'm rather excited for this. I know Rian Johnson's got a split in fandom because of his involvement in Star Wars The Last Jedi, which at the time I thought was really exceptional. On the rewatch, I saw a lot of problems with it, but I still think it's a visually stunning film, and I appreciate certain elements of it. But Knives Out is... If you don't like Last Jedi and you hate Rian Johnson because of that, that's fine. But if you didn't watch Knives Out or Glass Onion because of that, I think you're doing yourself a disservice because those movies are really good, like murder mystery type things, and we don't have a lot of stuff like that nowadays. Isn't he producing a show that's like a murder mystery, an episode or something? I don't know. Let me know. Y'all might know. I don't know. So if you know, let me know. Then I'll know, and then we'll know. And when we know, that's the best way of knowing. Anyway, that's what we got for you this week. What's coming up here at PCP? Well, we got Dylan's Horror Show tonight, link in the description below. Join us over at Dylan's Horror Show, where we're finally talking about a good movie in 2023. We're going to be talking about Misery. Such a great film. That's Rob Reiner, right? I think it's Rob Reiner. Could be. Nah, it's Rob Reiner. Be confident. It's Rob Reiner, right? It's a Rob Reiner movie. Kathy Bates, awesome. Won an Academy Award for it. James Caan, awesome in the movie. Did not win an Academy Award. However, we're talking about Misery. That's tonight at 6:30 p.m. Central Time over at Dylan's Horror Show. And PCP Movie Night Tuesday. PCP Movie Night Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. We're talking about Taxi Driver. I thought about it. I was like, we haven't done any Scorsese films for PCP Movie Night. Well, I got 2 planned for the first quarter of 2023. April quarter. We got 1 planned, Taxi Driver, for this Monday. We're doing Goodfellas in April. I love Scorsese. I'm excited to revisit Taxi Driver and talk about it. I know that last week I was planning on bringing back Rockin Robbie Live on Sunday. We did not do that, in fact. It's been a week. It's been a really good week, but it's been a week. It's been a week, and we're not going to bring it back this week either because the Cowboys are playing the 49ers in the playoffs at 5:30 my time. So that's like an hour and a half before I'd go live. And yes, I could do one of those fun, like, let's get Robbie drunk while we watch the Cowboys game. But I really got to invest my energy in that game. So Rockin Robbie Live's not coming back this week either. So this will be the most extended break we've ever had on Rockin Robbie Live. So I hope that when we do return, hopefully the next week, that y'all have missed me because I've missed y'all. Anyway. That's what we got for you. Dylan's Horror Show tonight, Misery, and then Monday night, PCP Movie Night, Taxi Driver. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and drop a comment below about anything you have to think about, any of the news I covered, or anything I missed. Because, like, for instance, right before I did this video, they just announced this thing for May that was like a Venomverse, Extreme Venomverse or something like that. So I got to dive into that. But I was like, you know what, let's just save that for next week or for just conversations in general at the PCP Army, all that stuff. Anyway, we really do appreciate all the support, the liking, the sharing, the subscribing, the commenting. It really, really helps us out. We got a great 2023 planned here for Pop Culture Philosophers, and we're excited to bring you the movie reviews, comic reviews, conversations, and lots of other fun, jammin', jivin' stuff. Yeah, I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on living, reading, and loving. Station. Pop, pop, boom!